What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And today, let's talk about Robyn Hood, the series on the Global Television Network, which streams on Stack TV. Never heard of these things, but I have my own way of watching. Don't ask me any questions, Kate. Ask me no questions about my business, Kate. Anyway, we're going to get into my impressions of this show, and then I'm going to get into a little bit of a commentary about this because there's a little buzz going on around about this show. So I just wanted to know what I was talking about. So I watched a couple of episodes of this, and I want to give a little bit of a review on this, guys. But first, let's start with a synopsis here. Robyn Hood is a Canadian action drama television series. Canadian! That explains a lot when you really think about it. No disrespect, I'm just saying, guys. Woo, what a stinker. But anyway, Robyn Hood is a Canadian action drama television series described as a modernized reimagining of the English legend of Robin Hood, created by music video director and filmmaker Director X. No relation to Racer X or Terminator X. Certainly not Malcolm X. But the series stars Jessie Romeo is Jessie Yeezy! Jessie Romeo, Nakeem Provo, Adrisa Sanago or Say No Go, that's the way it's spelled. Say No Go, don't even think about it, say no go. Anyway, and Daniela Karlamova. It airs, as I said, on the Global Television Network and streams on Stack TV. It premiered in September 2023 with an 8-episode run. The series follows the young activist rapper, Robyn, and her anti-authoritarian masked hip-hop band, The Hood, living in Robyn and The Hood. It's so clever, guys. Living in a working-class area in the fictional city of New Nottingham, of course. They battle with the corrupt elite, including a property developer and the sheriff. Chorus Entertainment executive Troy Reeb described the series as a dark and gritty take featuring a heroine challenging the status quo and fighting oppression. This thing was written by Chris Roberts. And I gotta tell you guys, I watched 2 episodes of this because I knew I wanted to make a commentary on what's been going on outside of this. And I wanted to have like at least a little bit of knowledge about what this show actually was. So I put myself through the experience of watching this. And I gotta tell you guys, this was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life by far. Right, guys? Now, you've seen me do reviews on here before. You've seen me be very hard on things before. But this thing is practically without any redeeming quality value whatsoever. And I'm not just saying that to be mean, guys. I'm trying to be fair here. All right. So, first of all, okay, because I don't want to be accused of just being disrespectful, let me give Director X his flowers here. Director X, as was stated earlier, is a video music director. He goes way back to like the early 2000s. He's worked with just about everybody you can think of in the business. He's won awards and things like that. So he is very much accomplished. I think he's got his a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you know, so there's no denying this man is accomplished and everything. But here, I think he's just out of his league because he tells a story that is such a freaking, oh my God, it's such a steaming pile of crap. I mean, it really, really is, guys. I was watching this thing and I just felt myself like, ooh, you guys know I have this philosophy, right? Or a belief that life is too short to be watching bad entertainment. But I really wanted to see what I was talking about here. So I stuck with it for 2 episodes. And it took every ounce of my strength not to turn this thing off, to get up, to walk away. The writing was terrible. The character development was terrible. The music was grating. Whenever they did something cool, the music would do this crazy pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. It's just like, oh my God, get over yourself. You're not gritty. You're not dark. You're not entertaining. It was over dramatic. It was just terribly put together, guys. In the acting, listen, I will give this guy props for this. All right. Obviously, he tried to hire some young actors. You know, it was good to see young people, I guess, you know, getting a shot and everything like that. But they didn't have much to work with here at all. This was not a fair measurement of their acting ability, so I'm not going to blame them for the crap that I saw. The fact that they were playing such insufferable characters that were so damn annoying, and this thing was so paint by the numbers. This is something that we've all seen before. Basically, what this story is concerned with is an overblown representation of gentrification. Whereas you have this hood, right? And they seem to live like in the projects. And the funny thing about it, the disingenuous thing about it, right, is that everything would be just fine with these people in their lives if only the police would just leave them alone. In the very first act, we see these people throwing eggs at the cops. For what reason, I don't know. That's just the way they get down. You know, they're like up in the window, you know, off the balcony, whatever, throwing eggs. I mean, the colossal waste of eggs on this show, number one, should be a crime in itself. There are people who are starving out there. If you really care about the hood, Director X, you would have taken those eggs, you would have fried it up, you would have scrambled it, something, you know, community breakfast, something. But no, those were real eggs. They were chucking out of the window, busting them on the car windshields and everything. So the police, they gotta go, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you show me one hood in America or anywhere where it's all love. Everything is good. Nobody is getting robbed or mugged or beat down or whatever the case may be. It's just a utopia. If only the police would leave us alone, right? But that's what we get. That's the problem with this reimagining. It'd be one thing if you're out in the dead in the woods somewhere, but you're in the freaking projects. You can't pay no amount of money to think that drugs and firearms and all that stuff is not going to be an issue. But it's not. If only the cops would leave them alone, they would be okay. So you see them throwing eggs and stuff like that. And what it is you have this rich dude, John Prince, right? Prince John, whatever. John Prince, of course, he's the white guy, right? The one, I think, white guy. There might be a mixed kid in there somewhere, of course. But the one white guy who's in there is the one who's fucking it up for everybody because he wants to buy back this area, right? Because his father once owned it, sold it to the city, the state, whatever, but now the son wants it back because this is prime real estate, so he wants to do this. I think the mayor, governor, she's not letting him do it, right? So he's got to resort to rougher means, you might say, all right? So I mean, you can see that he disrespects the people. I mean, he's talking about, like, the dialogue in here is so bad. Like, I think the mayor or whoever it is, she says something like, what is it? What's a good example? She says something like, well, you can't have this area, John. This area is occupied. And John says something, so he says, well, technically, so is a dumpster if you count the rats. They paid somebody to write this, guys. I'm sitting here like the grades are coming in. I'm getting older, guys. I'm dying. You know what I'm saying? It's like twilight is upon me, and I'm sitting here watching this. Now you're sitting there saying, well, you could have just turned it off. Well, listen, guys, I wanted to make an informed video for reasons that I will get into later, okay? Bear with a brother. So anyway, the heroine of the story, Robyn Loxley, her mom is the head of, I don't know, she's the head of this organization that's trying to stop the gentrification of the neighborhood. So she goes to John Prince's headquarters and they're carrying signs, leave our hood alone, whatever the case may be. Out of nowhere, John is watching her, he's talking to the mayor, he's watching her on a closed circuit camera, whatever, and he just picks her out. Who is that? Get me her name. So later on, they confront the rioters or the picketers, whatever the case may be, BLM, whatever they are, all right? And for some reason, it escalates because, of course, they don't like cops and stuff. So he's got the sheriff on the payroll, right? The sheriff, of course, is a white woman, right? So he sends the white woman, you know, to go down there and shake down the rioters or the picketers, the demonstrators. Of course, they're peaceful, never bothering nobody. So they go down there, they start trying to shake them down and everything. The mother's got a big mouth. And I should say, too, Robyn is disrespectful as F to her mother, right? When you first meet her, she's telling her off. She's being disrespectful. I don't want to stay in the hood like you. I want to get out of here. But wait, I thought the hood was perfect. Why is she trying to leave? But anyway, she wants to go. And her mother wants her to stay because she's like, this is a wonderful area. I want to give this to you. This is great. You should stay here. Robyn is like, oh, please. I ain't trying to stay here with your skank ass, right? So she wants to leave, right? Mom is like, oh, you should go live with your father because he's just so disrespectful. And Robyn is like, maybe I will. So anyway, fast forward. The sheriff is confronting the picketers. The cop is pushing people around. The mother is like, stop, stop, stop. The cop pulls out a gun in front of everybody, broad daylight, and shoots the mom in the gut. So now Robyn is like, Mom, no! You just got through disrespecting your mom, ho. Come on now. But she's all upset, right? Her mom falls on the floor. Right away, her mom is like, Robyn, I can't feel my legs, Robyn. And this is where the director comes in, because you do see the legs kind of moving a little bit, but she can't feel her legs. So Robyn is like, I would give anything for my mom to be okay. So I would stay here. I would stay here in the hood in Sherwood. Because she lives on, what is it, Sherwood and Forest Street, right? Oh, it's just such an ingenious reimagining. So anyway, so her mom is laid up in the hospital. And this funny thing is that John Prince is like, you know, he tells the sheriff, like, what I told you to go shake them down. I didn't say, you know, do this, you know, you're going to make a martyr out of her, you know, arrange where she could be killed or something like that. Well, that won't make a martyr out of her, but he's like, yeah, we can just take care of her this way. So Robyn is like, well, if they do this, if we leave her in the hospital, they're going to kill my mom and everything. So we got to get my mom out. Now, my mom is in custody because she was inciting a riot or something like that. So they have her handcuffed. They set the bail, you know, at a very high price. Robyn is like, and she's got her friends, you know, she's got, oh, excuse me, baby, we gotta, honey. But anyway, so we meet Little John, by the way. Okay, Little John is some big black dude who's come home from the army, and you know, clearly they've had like some type of crush on each other all of these years. So Robyn is going to be banging Little John. I mean, you can see this going on. Actually, it does happen. And the funny thing is that it just happens out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like 1 minute they're making googly eyes at each other, you know, talking all irrelevant type stuff. And then the next scene, they're spooning. And it's like, what? Oh, okay. You know, we got from there to there real quick. There was nothing to it. But I think the reasons why is because Robyn is presented as bisexual. Like, I believe she's at least bisexual, right? So Marion is actually a lawyer for her mother. So you can see, while she has banged Little John, you can see that ultimately, because you can already tell her and her mother's lawyer, they're making eyes at each other too, you know? So you can see that this chick is just a freak. Robyn is a freak. Robyn of Locksley is a freak, okay? But anyway, she has this rap group that she's in, and they're the Hood, and they're on social media. They're going viral, mind you. Okay, I assume they're connected to somebody's account somewhere, and somebody's name is on it. But anyway, they have gone viral, making their little stupid rap song. You know, top, 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 top. Something the music keeps on doing. It just drives me nuts. But anyway, so they decide what they're going to do to get her mom's bail money is to steal John Prince's gold. That goes wrong. They break in. They end up stealing his car, right? They film the whole thing. They post it online. This is how dumb this thing is, guys. You've heard in real life about rappers who get themselves in trouble because they post themselves committing crimes. We just saw this TikTok influencer or whatever she is, and she just got in trouble for broadcasting herself when she was rioting. Well, Robyn does the same thing. She broadcasts herself and her band of merry people robbing John Prince, this super duper rich guy. They take his car, like his car wouldn't have any type of tracking on it. Super duper expensive, you know, all of that stuff. She just takes it, drives off, and they're able to get the money for the bail that way. It's just so stupid. Like, nobody would know. Number one, like I said before, this is a rap group that she has online that has gone viral. Okay? Why would nobody know? Or why would nobody put two and two together that she was the one that was behind it? But no, this is presented as some big mystery where they have to go into the projects now and they have to shake down everybody in order for somebody to give up who the leader of the Hood is. As if they, like I said, they couldn't figure this thing out before. Once again, more eggs get thrown, all right? Nobody wants to cooperate. But they figure they're going to make everybody in the Hood pay for the actions of a few. Kind of reminds me of what's going on over in the Middle East right now. Let's justify just taking out everybody based on something that a few people did, but I digress. The point is, right, is that this is where we are with the show. Okay, I only watched 2 episodes of it. And like I said before, guys, the pacing, terrible. The dialogue, terrible. The music, terrible. The self-awareness, terrible. All right, there's no character development whatsoever, save the fact that the mother gets freaking blasted and that makes her want to do something instead of just being a brat. But she's a brat anyway. All right, and she's surrounded by a cast of, everybody is supposed to be making their counterparts in the original Robin Hood thing. And I should say, guys, we've seen reimaginings of Robin Hood before over the years. We've seen Robin Hood Men in Tights. We've seen Robin Hood, who was an actual fox in the cartoon, the old Disney classic. But you know what? Those reiterations are a lot more faithful to the source material than this could ever be. This is just stupid. This is the biggest reach that I've ever seen in my life, where they're like, oh, okay, we want to draw some parallels to the story of Robin Hood, so we're going to name certain things, Sherwood Forest, Robin of Locksley, all of this stuff, guys, but the sensibilities of the story and what it actually means and symbolizes is completely lost on Director X and Chris Roberts here. So I found this show to be severely lacking in entertainment value, severely lacking in its messaging. Guys, the story of being anti-cop, and the cops are, make no mistake about it, there is not one cop, at least they should have introduced one cop who is kind of torn here. Now, I know it's only 2 episodes. Maybe this is something that's going to happen, all right, to be fair. But in the beginning, the reason why this thing is so insufferable is because it's either there or it's here. And there's no gray areas. There's nobody who's conflicted about anything. It's ridiculous. There's no depth of character here whatsoever. Nobody is torn in one way or another. You know what I mean? So it's just awful, guys. It's an awful watch. I would tell you, I would not recommend this for anything. If I were to give this a rating in my flushes, I would give this thing, I would give it 3.5 flushes, okay? Remember, on a scale of 1 to 4 flushes, the more flushes I give something, the more terrible it is. The only reason why I'm not giving this thing 4 flushes is because I do respect the dude's, I do respect his care to put unknowns in here and to give young people a shot. Like, I do respect that. I do like the fact that he put a bunch of young people in here and stuff like that. But, and I give him credit for that. That's the only reason why it's not getting 4 flushes. But I'm giving it 3.5 because it is absolutely full of shit. I mean, it truly is, guys. Now, let's get into the second part of this real quick. I don't want to be too long here. But the Director X dude, this dude is all over the place complaining about his show getting review bombed. Listen, Director X, Julian, this is not being review bombed, okay? This is a legitimately terrible show, all right? Please take it from me, because you say that you're so proud to be black. I think you're probably biracial, just like every other biracial who comes out this way. You want to make a big deal about racist. We had, what's his name? Jesse Williams. We had, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's always biracial dudes who come out talking this yin yang, right? But anyway, you're being review bombed. Everyone who hates the show is racist. Listen, sir, I gave you your props for being a famous music video director, all right? I'm trying to be fair here. You need to work on your craft. You need to step your game up, absolutely. You are not going to skate by. You claim to be a nerd, right? You came up watching, you said Empire Strikes Back, you love all of this stuff. You should know, we are a very critical group, all right? You can't just half-ass your way through this, sir. The show is badly written, it's badly put together. Please take my word for it. You say you're hip-hop, I'm hip-hop too, all right? But what I see from you is you're running all over the place. You're trying to blame this YouTuber and that YouTuber. You're chasing these white YouTubers around all over the place to the exclusion of black voices who are actually talking about how bad this shit is. But you're only concerned with one side of the narrative, and that's the reason why you don't have any credibility of what you're talking about, because you don't want to address what the real issue is. There is a criticism here, and all you want to do is concentrate on the people who are throwing stones at you. Do I doubt that you're getting racially attacked and all of that stuff? Fuck no. I know that it happens. It happens on my channel. But dude, you are old enough. You're Generation X just like me. You're old enough to know that this is a natural part of life. It's an unfortunate part of life, but it happens. It's up to you what you choose to focus on. And this is what you're choosing to focus on because you deliberately want to deflect from the real criticism of what's going on. And so you zero in on the white content creators and stuff like that because it helps your narrative. But in the meantime, guys, he's not going to get any better. All right, Director X, I'm saying this to you with all due respect and everything. You're not going to get any better as long as this is the road that you take. Okay, there are some people out there who will like this show. They will. But you made this. Let's be honest. You didn't make this for those white YouTubers. You didn't, sir. You made this for a very small audience. You can tell by the insane, annoying, grating music that you put in here. There's a very specific audience that you made this for. All right. So that's the audience that you should be concentrating on. You didn't make it for those people. Hell, you probably didn't even make it for me. All right. So concentrate on building that audience that will appreciate this and get better at serving that audience. But no. I don't know if you're looking for legitimacy by chasing after these content creators the way that you are, but I think that it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. A lot of these guys would not wipe their feet on you or what you're producing. Accept it. Nobody has to love you. This thing was not made for mass consumption. It wasn't. You have a little niche audience that you went after. All right. Either you're going to hit that audience or you're going to miss. But this was never going to be a runaway smash or a runaway success. The most you could hope for is maybe cult status, where you get a little group of people who do appreciate what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do, sir, but you could have done it a lot differently. All right. You didn't have to hijack Robyn Hood half-assedly and do it that way. You didn't have to do that. But you did, and now you're getting the backlash for it, okay? I gave you an unfavorable critique. It's got nothing to do with the fact that you're black, although I did point out that you are of mixed heritage. It's only because I've noticed a consistency here, with this type of person. You know what I mean? But that's all it is, dude. It's like I would love to be entertained. I just saw One Piece. I loved it. I have nothing in common with the producers or directors of that show or whatever. I just know that I was entertained and I like what I saw. And the same thing would happen with you if you had produced something that I actually liked. But I did not. And there's a lot of people who will not like this show because it was not, in fact, well put together. It just wasn't, sir. You're going to have to accept criticism. Get a tougher skin. Everything can't be, oh, they hate me because I'm black. They hate me because she's black, the star of the show. The show is bullshit, bro. It just is, okay? But it doesn't have to be. It can get better. You can get better. You have to learn how to accept criticism and stop chasing after these white content creators who are not going to grant you legitimacy, sir. You say that you came up in this fandom. You should know that. Okay, so there it is, guys. That's what I thought about Robyn with a Y Hood. Now, if you saw this thing, I'm sorry, number one. But if you saw this thing and you have some feelings about it, if you liked it, to be fair, get into the comment section. There's always got to be somebody. There's always somebody who likes something, you know what I mean? So get in the comment section, let me know what you liked about it, okay? As always, guys, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for the super thanks, and I will catch you on the next one, guys. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.